Welcome to the Dark Nook Monster Shop. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of ads for texture rollers, but they're crazy expensive or you need a 3D printer to make them. So I decided to just make one out of polymer clay and a stick. Now, first off, one of the advantages to making your own tools is you can customize them to your own grip. So I do. And then I smooth out the edges a bit. I love the idea of making a tool in order to make the stuff that I'm making out of the same stuff that I'm making my stuff out of. Right? Yeah. So I add a lot of different textures in the negative. You gotta remember, this surface will be reversed on the sculpt. So, in is out and out is in. Every hole in the texture stamp will be a wart on the texture. Every bump is a dent. Everything that goes in will be something that pokes out. Everything that pokes out will be something that goes in. So you have to think in reverse. Now, what I'm going for is zombie textures. That means rotten skin, bites, a general funky meat situation. Which, by the way, is the name of my unauthorized autobiography. Funky Meat Situation by Dark Nook. Bake that at 275 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now that I made the texture stamp, I guess I have to make something to stamp with the texture. So I twist up some armature wire and I smush some foil around it. I have no real idea what I'm making. I'm just thinking like meat tentacles, a writhing mass of tissue, kind of like The Thing. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, that thing. Then I cover the foil lump with a thin layer of polymer clay and blend all the edges together to form a basic shape of a body mass with two arm tentacles and kind of a tail. Next, I add some clay worms to form a veiny pattern of texture on what I'm calling the arms, but I'm going to smush away almost all of that texture with the roller, so I have to go heavy in order to end up with even a little hint of the shape in the end product. Hey, thanks for checking out my video, by the way. Maybe take a second to click like or hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. I decided to give it some eyes, so I'll make some dents to fill with eyes later. And I add a mouth. I want the mouth and the eyes to look like kind of like they're just ripping out of the mass of flesh, like a mouth or an eye or tentacles could just erupt out of this thing at any point. I build up the area above the eyes as I shape and widen the eye hole. Then I start adding some detail to the mouth. I want it to have these tentacles coming out of the sides of its mouth with like a fang tip. So I shape those out and I poke little holes that I'll fill in later with teeth. I add some more detail to the mouth, like the skin is stretching apart. Then I shape out the eyes, and I test fit them to make sure they're just the right size. I want them a little bit bigger than the eye hole. Then I make a bunch of teeth, and they're too little to really see well on camera. Then I bake the whole mess, but because the bits are so small, it only needs a few minutes. Once cooled, I add the eyes. I push them into their eye holes and start building up the skin around the eye and building up the eyelid. I want one eye to look nearly complete, but I want the other one to look like it's still emerging from the mass of flesh. It's not quite done taking shape. This process of working on the eyes is so much easier when the eyeballs are pre-baked and hard, so you can just build the stuff around them. Now that I'm more dialed in on this idea of a thing-like creature, and that it's kind of improvising its own parts out of a mass of meat, I really start going crazy with the detail. I start adding little extra tentacles and little extra eyes, and everything is just starting to grow out of the surface. I use the stretched out skin to cheat a kind of scowly brow expression, and I build up some more depth and add more detail. Then I start adding the teeth into the mouth. I poke little holes, and then I push the pre-baked teeth into the hole with tweezers. And once the teeth are in position, I shape some of the clay around them into gums. Then it's back to the texture stamp. I add in some more of what could be wounds or rotten spots or maybe bites or whatever. It just depends on what I'm sculpting, because this texture stamp lands on a nice, neutral, organic shape and texture that works for any of those. It really just depends on how I detail it and how I paint it. The problem with not knowing exactly what you're making is that you never really know when you're done. But I'm happy with this, so I start smoothing it out with 99% isopropyl alcohol, and then I bake it for 15 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it's cooled, I decide to add some more tentacles. Now, I tried doing a thing with the pasta roller and it came out looking like bacon. Never mind, it's not important. Now I wrap the tail part in more clay and I blend that all off. I add some more clay here and there to anchor for the new tentacles I'm going to add. Now, who needs to drill holes and add armature wire when you can just half-ass it? This thing is just to showcase the texture. It doesn't have to stand up to any usage or wear and tear. It's going to sit on a shelf with all my other monsters, so I'm just going to add whatever I want. When I'm done, I smooth it all with alcohol and bake it again. Now, it's time for paint. I base it out in red, but then I wipe off most of the paint from the eyes and the high points with a damp paper towel and some Q-tips. Next, I wet blend in some more fleshy tones on the high points. Then, I dry brush a slightly lighter tone over that. And once it's dry, I do it again. And that's when my boss showed up to inspect my work area. She said I had entirely too few cat treats, and she'd be docking my pay for it, so if you could hit like and subscribe, it would really help me out. Next, I use a blood red wash mixed with Mod Podge in all the low points. And again, I clean most of the paint off the eyes. Then I use a nice dark purple wash through the airbrush. And then I go back and hit any spots I missed with a Q-tip. And another wet blend of flesh tone. And a dry brush of a slightly lighter flesh tone. Then more purple wash. And it's about this time that my brain starts screaming that I'm painting too much detail that only I can see because it's 6 inches away from my face, and it's just going to end up looking muddy on camera, so I should probably stop painting at this point. So I move on to the eyes and teeth. I paint them both white, but I go over the eyes with a little bit of water to give the eye kind of a foggy look by spreading the paint around and thinning it out a little bit. Then I go over the eyes again and I paint the teeth on the little tentacles. Next, I add a green wash over some of the low points, but not all of them. Then another blood red wash, and when that's dry, it's back to the eyes. I'm going with yellow for the iris. Then I go over that with some thin green color, and once that's dry, some yellow touch-ups. Next, I sponge on some flesh tone. This time it's thinned down to where it's almost a wash, but I use the sponge to keep it on the high points. After that, I add the pupils with some black acrylic paint that's mixed with wood glue. Then, using a frayed Q-tip, I add blood red color to paint veins on the eyes. Then I coat the eyes and teeth, and some random low points and bloody bits in some UV resin and harden it with a UV light. And after that, it's one last dirty brown wash mixed with some Mod Podge, and that's me done. On to the beauty shots. Hey, thanks for checking out my video. Please hit like and subscribe to see more creepy creations from the Dark Nook Monster Shop.